Hey Switchers, welcome back. Kanan here, hope you're all well and welcome to my review of Skate City. But will this skating simulator manage to get its way up onto the wall of fame, or maybe down in the wall of shame, or maybe just pivot somewhere in the middle? And if you'd like to see more of my videos and more reviews and updates on the latest Nintendo Switch games, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button to keep up to date. And if you want to get a little bit more involved though, then hit that link down below as well, and that will take you to our community Discord. Come for the chat, stay for the streaming. And so with all that said, let's get into the actual game itself, a gameplay. Okay, so as you probably guessed by now, Skate City is a side-scrolling skating game. It's got 3 different places, and each place, apart from the first one of course, is unlockable using coins. I'll come back to that in a bit. Each actual area will see you doing like an endless skate with like 30 different trophies to unlock as you go along, and trust me, this is no easy feat to actually achieve. And you'll also be able to do around 21 different challenges within the actual levels as well, and each challenge has kind of like a star system as well, which kind of represents how well you've done within that challenge. And obviously you'll be wanting to go for 3 out of 3 stars, and you'll also be picking up some of that cash that I mentioned before to unlock things. And also these challenges are done in like 3s, so you can't just open up every single challenge. You have to do them in 3s, unlock, and then unlock the next ones after that. And the challenges can range from, say, doing like certain amount of tricks within a certain amount of time to beating the AI in certain races. And I actually enjoyed these races. They were, well, to me, quite challenging and quite good fun as well. And so let's take a look at the actual controls now. And basically you use the A to kind of like move yourself along, and if you stop pressing the A you will gradually start slowing down. And then by hitting the left and right stick you flick them in certain directions, and basically it does a trick. Each direction has its own different thing it will do, and it seems to have all your usual tricks that, well, skaters enjoy. And then you got the shoulder buttons that turn you mid-air, and also the trigger buttons that will kind of like land you into a grind type thing. And then you have to use ZL and ZR to balance yourself, and this also works when you actually jump onto objects as well, like rails and all. So if you trick onto them you then start grinding along them, and then what happens is you have to keep your balance in the same way on them as well, otherwise you wipe out. And you can press B at any time during these grinding bits to kind of like take yourself out of it so you don't wipe out. There's a nice little tutorial to kind of like teach you all of these things, and the actual levels are quite varied enough to keep it fresh as you go along, as you'll be jumping over objects, grinding on like rails and walls, and tackling slides and all sorts within the actual levels themselves. The only problem that I found was the endless skating modes were, yes, they were endless, but you kind of like almost felt like you were going back around in a circle, and I think that's the only problem that I found there, because I think if you're like me and you're not as good as like a pro at this sort of game, you'll kind of like be going around quite a few times trying to do the trophies for the endless skates. So after a while everything does actually seem like it's becoming a bit repetitive looks wise. This is by no means a game breaker. It didn't really hurt the game for me. It just felt a bit strange having to go around in a circle all the time, or at least that's how it felt anyway. The controls felt pretty good, and the only bad thing about them was maybe they were a little bit complicated with the right analog stick, as you have to take your finger off or your thumb off the A button in order to use it, which kind of like felt a bit challenging. But also if you were in a state where you were really slowing down a lot and you needed to do a trick with the right analog stick, or you kind of like needed that momentum to get over something, you just couldn't do it because you're flipping from one to the other. It just felt a little weird and odd for me. Maybe that's just a normal thing though. The other thing with the controls is sometimes I found, especially when you were going down steps or something, or trying to jump up to something, it didn't happen too often, but it was a little unresponsive from time to time. I was pushing the stick and just nothing happened, and it resulted in my character just falling off the actual skateboard. And so lastly, what do you do with those coins you're earning all the time? Well, you spend them in the shop as well as unlocking the other levels. And so the shop is possibly the first place you want to come to, because you can kind of like alter the look of your character within the shop just quickly. You know, there's not really many different things you can do, but all the basics are here just to get you started in the game, like your actual gender, skin color, hair color, and kind of like different hairstyle that you actually want. And then as you build up your money, you can come back here and you can change your tops, the way the actual skateboard looks, your trousers. You can even get trainers and also glasses. You can change the look of your skateboard as well in actual 3 different ways, which kind of like surprised me. And then something surprised me within the shop, which is something I don't really see in many of these sort of games. Maybe I'm wrong and don't play many, but I've not seen this in, well, the ones that I played anyway. You can buy extra tricks, like a double kickflip or a impossible. You can actually purchase them as you're going along. And then you've got a skill set that you can upgrade when you go along as well. You know, like your speed, spin, pop and balance, all helping you actually achieve those, well, achievements and challenges as you go through the game and the different levels. I thought this was a really neat idea, and if it is on other skateboarding games, do forgive me, but you know, I don't play many of them, and I just thought it was a pretty cool idea. And what's even better, you do actually feel the differences when you're actually in the gameplay. Graphically though, this is a very nice, I think it's called cel shaded style of environments, and to me personally, I thought it actually looked really nice. It did actually have that like cool effect I think they were actually going for. There's a nice array of different like banisters to slide on, and like walls, also like different steps, and you know, grinding environments, which you know did help with the actual gameplay and kept it fresh. As for the sound, well, it did what you expect it to do. All the actual like grinding and like skating board sounds were there, and I think this is pretty standard for any game like this anyway. The actual soundtrack was okay. It wasn't the best I've ever heard in this sort of genre, but you know, it served its purpose, and yeah, you kind of like felt at ease whilst playing the game with it in the background, and I was happy enough with it that I didn't even turn it down. The good. The environment felt good, the upgradable system was pretty cool, and you know, there was plenty of tricks to actually do here. The bad. The controls occasionally felt a bit unresponsive and also slightly fiddly. It also took me a bit of time to get used to it to actually play the game. The score. As usual, I rate games out of 5, and it's all my own personal views and my personal thoughts of the actual game and whether I think it's worth the actual money or not. But I kind of like felt that this game gave value for actually what you're paying for. It was very nicely styled, and yeah, I enjoyed playing Skate City, and that's why I'm going to award it a 4 out of 5. So close to a 5, I would say, but it kind of like just fell short of that mark to me, but still definitely worth a pick up, and especially for this price. And as for my alternative, I'm going to say the Ollie Ollie bundle. You get the first and second one all in one go, and I haven't played it on the Switch, but I have actually played it on other consoles, and they're quite competent, and yeah, they're quite good fun as well. Kind of like a more low-key version of Skate City, I would probably say. And so, what do you think of Skate City? Are you going to be picking it up or not? Leave it down in the comments, that's where it belongs. And if you've enjoyed this review and any of my other reviews, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, come on board and be notified whenever I drop a new video. And to get more involved in my videos, come and join us in the community Discord, where we do like community weekly streams all together and all voiced on Discord. Because life is better when we switch together.